So this is a fanfiction idea I thought of on a whim, and it's not really a crossover, but there will be like little cameos here and there of other things. And welcome to Gravity Falls, The Beast Must Rise. So this is a Gravity Falls werewolf story. You've probably seen several times over. Fucking love me some werewolves. So here we go. So for reference as to where we are, this is the next summer that Dipper and Mabel are back. They're having a grand old time solving mysteries, and one night, while Dipper and Mabel are out investigating a series of Dogman sightings throughout Gravity Falls, what happens is the twins get attacked, and Dipper gets mauled by the animal, and it runs off. When Stan is Mabel, it's not Stan, excuse me, it's Mabel, who they see the twins are a little older and they've come prepared, and what she does is just pack heat and fire some silver bullets. She does graze its shoulder, and it takes off. So she has to call Stan and tell everyone, hey, Dipper's down. He got attacked by an animal. You got to get here now. So they all Stan and the others show up, and Dipper's he is just fucked up. He got mauled, trying to protect Mabel from the animal, and Stan's looking at her, holy mother of God. They have to load him into the car quick, and they just drive frantically back to the mystery shack. So they're what do? We get a hospital or whatever, and they're and Ford is there, and he's we cannot bring him to a hospital. That was we can call it a bear attack, we can call it a mountain lion attack. He's do you think anyone in Gravity Falls is going to believe that with us? After everything that happened last year? No. Here's what's going to happen. We're going to have to tell him the truth, and they're going to want to put him down, because you know what's going to happen next. And they're he got bit, so they're all aware he's going to turn into a werewolf if he survives. And even Ford's I wouldn't worry about the wounds. They're going to heal. He got bit, though. So Mason, Dipper's real name, he's going to change. We all know this. And everyone looks at Ford okay, so I assume... Stan's the first one to bring this up. Where he's so I assume, brother, you have a cure? You know a cure? And he's yeah, good news and bad news. And he's alright, it's been a shit night, so let's get the good news first. What's the good news? The good news is I do know there is a cure, and we can make it. And he's alright, that's good news. What's the bad news? The bad news is how to make it. We need wolfsbane, we need shavings from a silver cross, we need saliva of a wolf. Not a werewolf, just a regular wolf. And we need the blood of the werewolf that bit Dipper. And they're well, we can get all those things, right? How much time do we have until we can administer the cure? He's the other good news, Ford explains it, the other good news is that, he's got 30 days till the next full moon before his first change. So we have a 30-day window and he's okay, we got good news, sandwich it with bad news. Cap this shit sandwich off with some bad news. Go ahead. Stan's just he knows what's gonna happen. He's we need to administer it to him during his first change. And if we don't get it to him by the end of the first full moon, he will never be cured again. He will stay a werewolf. So the first night, we have the entirety of the first night to change him back. But once that first full moon goes down, that's it. There's no way to cure it. But we have to administer the cure when he's in wolf form. And he's oh, okay, sounds easy enough. Yeah, totally. Let's just deal with keeping him alive first. So throughout the night, they're just making sure Dipper's alive. They're cleaning his wounds, all of that. And the next day, Dipper's up, he's active, and he's I feel sore, and there's scars on him now. There's a scar where the animal bit him. He's that's the problem, isn't it? I feel fine. Because we know, because he's that's the problem, right? You're all scared. I can see it in your eyes. Like, I know what's going to happen. And he's like, and they're like, look, we got 30 days to figure out a cure. It'll be fine. But in the meantime, just, if you feel weird, just let us know. So he's like, all right, cool. And then everyone's about to leave, and Dipper says, Ford, hang on, I want to talk to you, like, man to man real quick. And Ford's like, sure, yeah. What's up? So Dipper goes, look, you know me. Thanks to Mabel makes me optimistic. And I do think I can be cured of this, but I'm also pretty logical. If this fails, you need to put me down. And he's like, Mason, there's no way I would do that. And he's like, yeah, you would. And Nissa goes, let's not mince words, okay? I know, and you know that I know, that you're the only person. Stan talks big game about protecting his family, but here's the problem. He can't protect his family from himself. And he's not going to put me down. Mabel can't do it. Wendy's not going to be able to do it. We both know Seuss is not. You are the only one who knows I will kill these people. If given the chance, if you don't get me this cure, I will kill these people. These people that I love will be the first ones I kill. So you need to get this cure and get silver bullets. Because if this goes sideways, you are the only person I know who has the wherewithal to put me down. And he's like, I am begging you, nephew to uncle, right now. If you don't get this cure administered, put a bullet in my head. Because I cannot live with the fact that I have murdered my entire family and I will be puking them up the next day. So Ford's like, yeah. So Ford, unknown to Dipper, Ford already got the silver bullets the very night. Like, he already knew, like, if this goes sideways, I'm gonna have to kill him. So throughout the day, everyone gathers to be like, all right. So first things first, we need to get. We have now 29 days. We now have 29 days to cure Dipper. So we need to figure out a couple things. Silver shavings from a silver cross. And Seuss is like, I'm on it, dudes. So Seuss goes to his grandmother's house and just takes a cross and just starts shaving it. And she's like, I will ask no questions. It just leaves. Then they're like, okay, saliva from a wolf. Do we have any wolves around here? And Wendy's like, I'm on it. So Wendy goes out to the woods, axe in hand, and just goes out and just finds a wolf pack, and just goes, nothing personal, but she's like, my boyfriend got mauled by a werewolf, and I'm gonna need your spit. The wolf is just like all snarling and just like just snarling and just barks at her, and she goes, I was really hoping you were gonna make this difficult. She's like, I got some unchecked aggression to really let out, so it's nothing personal. A little bit. So she goes and fights a wolf. Meanwhile, Mabel is sent to go get Wolfsbane. So they get everything, and they've all collected it except one thing, and they're like, this is the difficult part. We have to find the werewolf that bit Dipper. And that werewolf could be anybody in town. Or worse, it could be someone who was just stopping through and moved on. That's that's the one ingredient that makes these werewolf cures so hard. And Stan goes, hey, Mabel, didn't you say you shot the thing? And she goes, yeah, I nicked him in the shoulder. And Stan goes, well, there we go. We need to find someone with a nicked shoulder, like a bullet wound in their shoulder. Easy. So yeah, they had set out. Meanwhile, Dipper's doing research on werewolves and all these werewolf cases. He's just sitting in his bed. He also he's just sitting there, just kind of flipping through his phone and all these all this research and rumors of werewolves. Like, he learns about the David Kessler incident, the werewolf incident in London of an American student who claimed to be a werewolf. he also learns about a werewolf community, a supposed werewolf commune on some beachside town, the Howling. He reads about a series of killings in New York by wolves, Wolfen. He reads about all of these different cases of lycanthropy, all the way going back to the first record of, because obviously it's recorded in history of like the Peter Stupp case and everything from the Inquisition, but the one of modern era werewolves was the Larry Talbot incident, where Larry Talbot claimed to have been bitten by a werewolf and then mysteriously he died, but then somehow came back to life later on. So he's just kind of reading about all these werewolf incidents, and he's learning more and more about it. And he's like, God, it's not just like werewolves in general. Like I don't know what breed of werewolf I got bit by. There's so many different breeds and types that it could be anyone, and I don't know and sometimes some of these cures just don't work. Oh boy, it's gonna be bad. But as he's like learning and doing research, he just he starts to like smell something outside, and he's like, oh wow, I can smell something good outside. And he like looks out the window, and it's like just a little raccoon just kind of going through the trash, and he's like, just nothing it's just something snaps in his head. He like opens the window, goes down, and like attacks the raccoon and just starts devouring it. And he Wendy goes out to take the trash. She's just like, oh shit, and he's like, hi honey, and she's like, let's get you inside before anyone sees. And they hear a mailman go, I saw everything, I'll never recover from this. So they bring her inside. So they bring him. She brings him inside, and she's like, "Have you been is there something you want to eat?" And he's like, "Well, if I'm being honest, I kind of want to eat you." And she goes, do you mean like Wendy has this moment of like, oh, that was direct. And she goes, do you mean like in a cannibal way or a sexual way? And Dipper just grins, and he shows like he's growing like little fangs, and he goes, could go either way. And she goes, okay, I am scared. Wendy's just all like, okay, I am frightfully turned on. I am gonna go. Because I just realized something about myself. So she leaves, and Dipper's just kind of like looking in the mirror. He's like, huh, I like that. So Wendy goes down and is like, hey, so Dipper just ate a raccoon and came onto me hard, and I don't know how to feel. Like, you think we could just hear me out? Can we wait to see what kind of werewolf he's going to turn into? Because I kind of want, I think I just realized something about myself. And they're like, no! First off, gross, but also understandable. Secondly, secondly, we need to, have you found any leads on, around your friends? If they've seen that dog man again? And then she's like, no, I haven't seen anything. And because now it's an APB, and they've tried for days looking for it. And Ford also points out that Dipper's the lycanthropy in his system will make it feel like a drug. Every time he, the days get closer to the full moon, he's going, Dipper's going to feel more intoxicated by this power. That's why a lot of people don't get cured. A lot of people don't get cured from their lycanthropy because they don't want it, because it empowers them. It gives them all these great new abilities and confidence and whatnot. And Mabel goes, "Oh no, Dipper's incredibly insecure. He's gonna turn on all of us." So now, so they're keeping a close eye on Dipper, who's now getting out of the bed, even getting out of the bedroom, even though they've told, hey, maybe just stay here and let us handle everything. But now Dipper's like, I want to go out into the woods, just stretch my legs. I'm gonna go crazy in this room. And they're like, well, why don't we go with you? He's like, no. I said me, not we, sis. Got it? And Mabel goes, I'm not letting you out of this room. And he goes, okay. And just shoves her out of the way, out the door. And he goes, don't get in my way again. And there's like a growl in his voice. And she goes, oh boy. So meanwhile, Stan, Seuss, and Ford are still out, like, looking for the werewolf. And they're checking, like, everybody. Like, even Seuss is, like, talking to someone at a local thrift store, and he's just like, oh, how are you, dude? That's a cool tattoo you got there. Yeah. Let me see your shoulder! He's, like, trying to, get off me, man! He's like, oh, sorry, no bullet wound. You're good. So, they're like, we're getting nowhere, and we've only got, what, a week? We got 7 days to get that final cure. We need to do that now. And why can't we do it? Like, why can't we do it? Like, wait? Why can't we wait any longer? And Ford is like, because if the longer the lycanthropy is in his system, and after that first change, it's permanently locked to his DNA. So we can't wait. And the more he changes, like every time he changes, the less human he will become until he permanently is full werewolf, all 24/7, day and night. And so they're all trying to figure it out. And one night, Dipper is just kind of like, he goes out for the night, and Wendy just is like, I'm going with you because you need to be watched, and also I'm worried about you. So they go out, and Dipper's just like, I feel great, right? Like, I've never felt this strong, and my senses are so sharp. And she's like, yeah, it's a little hot, but like, it's also scary. And he goes, scary hot? And she goes, scary. And he's like, I think you'll change your mind when I change. And she goes, you're already changing. And I think you're kind of turning into a douchebag. And he goes, it's animal magnetism, baby. And she goes, it's not him. That's not Dipper. That is Wolf Dipper talking. Let it go. It's a little arousing, but we'll get through this. So that night they do encounter the dog. Like Dipper and Wendy do encounter the dog man, and that bit Dipper, and he's like, you. So they get him and Dipper and the dog man get into a fight, and they're like clawing at each other, and even like Dipper's fingernails actually grow into claws, but he's not a full werewolf yet, and he does put up a fight, but he actually does lose and gets bit again. He gets just beat down again, and he's like, well, at least I won't turn into a werewolf faster. So the dog man does escape again, because Wendy comes in, just grabs the nearest like sharp stick she can make into a spear and just gets him in the leg, and forces it to run off. Wendy carries him back and is like, he's like, it's still here, but yeah, he's fucked up. And Ford's like, yeah, don't worry, he's not going to change faster now. He got bit again. He'll just heal faster. So Dipper's like, I don't care if you have to, if like, you guys have to get that blood or not, but you're gonna let me, but I want you guys to let me change, and I'll get that blood for you. And they're like, whoa, that is dark. So they're like, well, maybe that's the only way. Like, Ford actually thinks logically, because he's like, look, maybe that's for the best. Maybe Dipper will smell him out, and like, it'll be a territory thing, and he'll smell out the other werewolf, he'll draw blood, we'll get that blood, and we'll administer the cure after Dipper beats him. Or it's like, or the other one beats him. He's like, so everyone's on edge at this point, because they don't know what's gonna happen. Wendy's just frustrated about the whole thing and leaves, and that's when Robbie shows up, and he's like, hey, heard you got some animal problems. And she goes, fuck off before I kill you. And that's not even like metaphorically. I will put you in the ground. Eddie's like, oh, come on. We had such fun together, and I can show you how to be, I can show you how to walk on the wild side. And she goes, oh, fuck, you're the werewolf, aren't you? And he's like, no, I'm not the werewolf. She's like, you're so fucking obviously the werewolf. You couldn't even, like... He's like, I've just got... And she goes, animal magnetism? Yeah, Dipper said that, too. So, come here, you fucking idiot. So she grabs him and, like, pulls up his arm, and he's like, yeah, there's the bullet wound right there. And he goes, damn, and I was gonna, like, I was just gonna come back here the next night and kill him. I was trying to kill him before. I didn't realize a little punk had a fight in him. So I thought coming during the day and smothering him would be for the best. He goes, and then Wendy's like, well, you probably bitched out, didn't you? He's like, I bitched out. But that's not the point. I was gonna come back tonight and then kill him. He's like, even as a werewolf, you're a pussy. And Wendy and Robbie is just like, well, it doesn't matter because I'm gonna I am going to I'm gonna make sure that doesn't happen, and you're not gonna warn him. So he actually kidnaps Wendy after having someone come up behind her and knock him out. That other person is Tambry, because of course the because Tambry thought werewolves were hot, and Wendy's like kind of tries to argue when she's tied up, and she goes, I can't argue. Like, she's like, I'm starting to understand, and Tambry's like, right? You're kind of hot, and she goes, just a wee bit, not. And she's like, and they're both like, there's that pause, of like, but not in a furry way, though. No, totally not furry, not fur, no furrow. So, of course, Wendy getting kidnapped means Dipper's about the night. It's now the nightfall, and Dipper. We've gone several days. It's been days, and Dipper's just like, all right. Wendy's gone missing. I am going to change. I'm going to find this werewolf, and if you want blood Ford, I'm going to give it to you. So that night, Dipper gets locked down in the basement. He gets put down in the basement, and they're like, listen, we're going to chain you up. We're going to go find Wendy ourselves, because because you're getting pretty dark here, bro. Mabel's like explaining all this, and she's like, you're getting pretty dark. I don't trust you sounding like this. We're gonna leave you here, and we're gonna just go our own way. Okay? We're just gonna go and get the blood, save Wendy, and you'll be fine. And you'll be locked up down here. We'll administer it, and everything will be cool. And she goes, and Dipper's like, are you saying this to me, or are you like saying to yourself? And she goes, I am not prepared to answer that question right now. So they all leave to go find Wendy. Meanwhile, Dipper changes, and it's not a skin rip change, it's just full-on transformation. And he easily just breaks out of the shackles that are holding him, and just bursts out into the town. And in typical werewolf rampage fashion, he immediately shows up at in the center of town. Blubs and Durlin are quite literally it's a great night it's a great night to look at the stars. Dipper just jumps on the car, rips open the hood, and just starts roaring at them. And they're like, well, but then it immediately leaves. He just roars at them and runs off. And he's like, I don't. And Blub's like, why did it run away? It could have easily killed us. And Durlin goes, shit myself. And he goes, oh, that'll do it. It smelled the poo in my pants. Sheriff, it smelled the poo in my pants. Ugh. But also, good thinking. Durlin's like, it's a defense mechanism. But yeah, so Dipper goes on a rampage through town until he finally gets to Robbie's house, because he can smell Robbie. He's already changed. The two get into a fight, and Stan is like, Robbie that goth kid was the werewolf? Ah, damn it, I should have... that should have been the first fucking idiot we should have looked at. Ah, God, we are dumb. So they're fighting. Wendy's just talking to Tambry, and she's like, so you didn't get turned? And she goes, no, it's kind of got its own perks. And she goes, I really don't want to know what what that insinuates, so I'm not gonna ask. And she goes, and Tambry's just like, you didn't think about it either. And Wendy's just like, not now. And she goes, I'll tell you what is now, though. You see, your boyfriend doesn't know how to properly tie me down, and I cut through these straps about 30 minutes ago. So she immediately knocks out Tambry and goes, consider the friendship ended. Meanwhile, Dipper and Robbie are just completely throwing down. They're just fighting, and Dipper actually gets some good hits in. Because Robbie hasn't been his werewolf hasn't been in a fight, and Dipper's just full of piss and vinegar at this point. And also he wants to be alpha and claim this territory. So Robbie gets beat down, and they actually. Stan is actually the one to draw blood. Stan and Mabel are the ones who draw the get syringes and draw blood from Robbie when he's down. Dipper's about to kill him when Ford actually pulls out a gun, and everyone thinks, oh god, he's gonna actually gun down Dipper. Instead, it's a tranq dart filled with all the necessary ingredients all together, and he just gets hit in the chest. Dipper's feels all woozy and just collapses on the ground, changes back, and he's like, hey guys, what's up? So everyone's all happy, he's changed back, and they're like, what about Robbie? He's gonna, what do we do about him? And Stan goes, I got an idea. And they cage him up in the local Gravity Falls Zoo. And he's like, see, the amazing dog boy. And he's like, I'm not a dog man, I am an animal. He's like, I am not an animal, I am a human being. He's just he's rattling the cage. He's like, oh, come on. And everyone's looking at him he's feeling a little cruel and inhumane. But also, fuck him. So, by the end of it, Dipper's just kind of I kind of miss being a werewolf. Is there a way we can... No. Can I just... No. But Wendy was all interested in... No. And Wendy goes... Yeah, no. Totally, no. Don't look at my browser history. No. Anyway. So there you go, guys. That is the Gravity Falls fanfiction. Kind of ran a little long, but so sorry about that. Other than that, you guys tell me in the comments below what you guys think of it. Other than that, I hope y'all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.